Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm Abe with MysticGenmara.com, a small town mystic from the middle of Idaho. And tonight, whenever you happen to be seeing this, I would like to offer your elemental energy reading with the runes for the week of October 26th through November 1st of 2025. These are general readings, so take what works, leave the rest for someone else. There's some goodies down in the description if you're interested in any of that fun stuff. And if you've never had your charts read, there's actually a natal interpretation chart that I highly recommend down there as well. It's not sponsored or anything like that, but it is a really good tool that Llewellyn offers, and it gives a really good basic birth chart, just so you're aware. With that, we'll get started with our fire family. Fire covers the zodiac of Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. And fire, you are starting off with Tiawaz, which is Tyr, the god of war. Colors bright red, tarot association is justice, and the astrology is Libra. So you're working with some air here. It's courage and energy, the power to weave the patterns of your own life. Well, fire, you're kind of creation in passion form anyway. So this is really tying into your energy, having air there. Especially Libra, you're stepping into a balanced state of creation where there's something coming forward. Either you've been so focused on work or something outside that you forgot your creation, or you've been so focused on creation that you're letting other things slide. This is where you get to bring them together and actually find a new balance, which in the long run is going to work out in your favor anyway. So that's a good start to your energy to look out for the week. Your second rune is Jira, the year, which is light blue. Tarot association is the Fool, again with that beginning energy. Astrology is earth, so you're definitely working balance this week. Cycles of nature and life, something coming to fruition, effort receiving reward. So when you look at this energy that's coming in this week for our fire family, you have something that is calling your creative spirit, something that is calling to that inner part of you that is, things just don't, I don't want to do everything like everyone else does. I want to do something different. And that's coming to the forefront. With the Fool coming in, it's also saying you're a little naive about how you're going to go about this, but there's definitely a balance that's coming into play here. And that's what is so important, is it's calling you back to your balance. It's saying this is actually where your more natural state is, but you have to trigger that creation. You have to trigger that passion, which fire you have in abundance anyway. So this is a good way to really activate that and start to work towards this new sense of purpose is what I'm hearing, but it's also a new sense of balance, because you're not just doing things the way you've always done them, and you've got Libra and Earth, air and earth, which are opposites. So you're actually being called into play to work with logic, reason, and intellect, but you're also bringing into play the family and the home. So there's something going on here where you're coming together, thought into manifestation type energy, but it's also the balance of personal, home, relationships, all that stuff. And it's the vibe I get from this is it's going to be a pretty simple shift. You just know what's going to happen next, but it's this call to your soul that something's a little bit out of balance and it's time to fix and adjust it. And this week is a good kickoff point, a good starting point for that adjustment to occur. So let's hop over to our Earth family, which is Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. And Earth, we're starting you off with the energy of, sorry, I need my notes. Rado, which is a long journey on horseback. Colors bright red, tarot association is the Hierophant or the High Priest, and astrology is Sagittarius, so you're working with some fire energy too, Earth. Physical journeys, pleasant ones, journeys that bring positive development or spiritual expression. So there's this energy coming forward for our Earth family where there's something shifting for you, Earth. There's too many different things coming in. They're saying that we're going to look at it from a spiritual standpoint first, but there is a shift occurring in your life right now where what was is actually being kind of deconstructed and rebuilt into something better. You also are working with the Hierophant, or in some tarot decks it's the High Priest, so you have already learned about the balance of the divine elements. the divine masculine and the divine feminine, and now you're in a position to be able to teach that and show that to the next generation. So you're not unknowledged. You actually are very aware of where you're at, and that's what's allowing these shifts to occur, is because you're willing to do the hard things, Earth. You're willing to make the changes, possible sacrifices, but it's not going to be super losses. It's more like, oh, I don't need that anymore, so you can let it go easier. That's the vibe that's coming up here. Your second rune is Thurizaz, the god of strength. Colors bright red. Tarot association is the Emperor, again with that divine masculine energy. And astrology is Mars. Protection, providing help, good news coming in. Again, fire's working with earth and air, so there's a balance that's coming into play there. But earth, you're pretty much tied to fire. You're really working to shift things. You need that fiery passion to kind of shift you out of where you've been and allow you to step into where you're going. That's where this long journey is coming into play. The journey of 100 miles starts with the first step. And that's where you're at this week, is you're taking the first steps. And it's something that you're going to have to work with, overcoming your own personal challenges, overcoming you have misgivings. You know this needs to happen, but you're not sure how to do it. You feel like you're going to lose something important if you take this journey, and Source is saying, if you lose something important, it's the wrong journey. You know the right steps. So if it's one of those things where, is it really that important, or is it the old you or the ego that's holding on to something that really doesn't benefit you anymore? This is a good time to really reevaluate that. That's where the divine masculine can come in, and that's also where this energy of the Hierophant, which is a very intelligent tarot card. It's intelligent in the ways of spirit and in the way of knowledge just in general. So you have the knowledge and you have the gift and skills to walk through this situation, but it's going to require a little bit of strength, and that's where the Emperor comes in. And how I like to see the Emperor in the tarot is that's the divine masculine in his full power. So that's why that god of strength aspect is coming in, because you may need the extra strength to help kind of get over the first initial hump here. But there's definitely a shift occurring for you, and this week is going to start the process for you. Let's take a peek here at air. And air is Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. And air, you are starting off with, you'd think as much as I use the runes, I'd remember these, but the runes I like, but memory, not so strong. We're starting you off with Wunjo, which is the rune of joy. Tarot association is strength. Color is yellow. And astrology is Leo, working with that fire energy. It's happiness and harmony between people, a situation changing for the better. Whoever resonates with this, if you are someone who is air, earth, or fire dominant, but you have these other two elements showing up, this is really kind of focusing in more on your your little trinity going on. And so the air, earth, and fire, you're kind of the divine matrix right now. You're weaving something different, and that's where the sign of happiness and harmony is coming in, because you're working to find that balance with the Libra energy. And changes for the better. This ties into earth, this ties into fire. There's something shifting this week for these three elements. And if you have all three signs, or all three elements within your chart, there's a call from spirit that something is shifting for you. And for air, this is something that's, you've been kind of waiting for this. You've been actually working towards this overall, but this week is when you get to see, oh, it's coming into play. All the parts are coming together. You know how that is, air, especially when you've been working on a project and you've been really focusing and you're putting things together, and all of a sudden it clicks and it starts to happen. That's what's happening this week. Whereas fire and earth are starting their process, you're actually watching this all come together. And I just got this interesting flash that air, you're the matchmaker between a fire sign and an earth sign. Their journey is just beginning, but your part in the role is actually coming to an end, and now you get to see the results of your actions. So that's kind of a fun way to imagine this, is that air is basically the one behind the scenes pulling the strings, the puppet master, so to speak. But that's one of the energies that's coming up here, is the air is seeing something come to completion, which is where fire and earth come into play. So there's this interesting play between energies going on here. Your second rune is Othila, which is ancestral property. We are with the color of deep yellow, and yellow is air colors. You can tell right here. And we have the moon as your tarot card, and your astrology is the full moon, so something is definitely coming to fruition. It's possessions or inheritance, real property, or inherited abilities and traits. Air, this is something that you have always been able to do. You've always been able to see the best in people, line the right people up, and get them into the positions that they need to be. You're kind of a master chess player at this point, because you will adjust things as needed, and a lot of the times the people that you're adjusting, quote unquote, don't even realize it's happening until after the fact, and by that point they're actually grateful for what happened. So this is kind of a fun energy, but this is it's definitely a subconscious talent that you have brought into your conscious mind. So it's something you were born with, and now you're able to actually use it successfully. But you're also seeing the fruits of your labor are coming into fruition, and that's where the joy energy is coming up. So air, you have a very fun energy this week, because it definitely looks like you're the matchmaker, or you're the one that's kind of pulling the strings here, and the other two are going along with it, even though they know something's just beginning and it might be a little bit of a challenge. But air, you're the one who already knows it's gonna work out, because you're help orchestrate this whole situation. So let's take a peek here at water, which is Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces, all of our fishies out there. And we are looking at Uraz, which is one of the Elder Futhark. Its color is dark green. The Tarot Association is the High Priestess, so you're working with some divine feminine energy. And astrology is Taurus, so tying into that earth. Creative power, wisdom, and knowledge, good fortune, opportunities. And water, you are having a little more amorous energy coming in here, which does actually tie into Taurus to a certain extent. But the energy that I'm getting for water is this is a really good time for inner reflection, to bring something into creation. This is a time where you get to do some inner work, and they're saying have fun with this. And it actually could be a new member of the family. Pregnancy is one of the images I'm getting right now. Adoption, secondary, but they're showing that there's something coming together where you and your partner, or you and a friend, depending if you're in a relationship or just a friendship, are creating something. And it's something that it's a joint effort. And this is the beauty of that. But they're really wanting to focus on, if you're in a relationship, this week could be a very fertile week for you, because that's the energy that's coming in. With the High Priestess, you also get to see the voice of the Mother Goddess in physical form. And so you also get to hear this beautiful connection with this other person, whether that's a friend or a deeper romantic relationship. You're definitely working that way. With the Taurus energy, I'm feeling very strongly that it's going to be more romantic, something to do with the home, moving in together, or something along those lines, proposal possibly. So water, you have an interesting week ahead of you. Your second rune, you have a similar one as well, is the Rado rune, which is the long journey on horseback. Colors bright red. Tarot Association is the Hierophant, and astrology is Sagittarius. So water, you're working with fire and earth, which is kind of fun. And the Hierophant speaks for the god, the high priest's energy basically, and the High Priestess speaks for the goddess. So you're still speaking into this physical form, the divine feminine and masculine traits made physical. So you have some fun energy. Indicates physical journeys, pleasant ones, journeys that bring positive development, and it could be a spiritual journey or self-awareness. So you're working with, if you are, sorry, I have an itch. If you and your partner are in a masculine feminine relationship, and that does not mean, we're talking energy here, not so much physicality. This is where you're in balance because the high priestess and the high priest, the hierophant, are coming together. You have dark green and bright red, which are also really good complementary colors to each other. These two runes are actually saying you're in a position to travel a very long distance. You have a lot of things available to you, water, and it's time for you to embrace this energy. It's time for you to shift into this next phase of who you really are and allow yourself the blessing and the gift of expansion. These new opportunities are waiting for you, and it's literally waiting on when you make the decision to do this. It's no one else's decision at this point, water. This is between you and your partner, you and God Source Divine. This is where you're at, and this is the energy that's coming up for water. Is you have found a balanced point, and now it's time to embrace that balance. It's time to create from the aspect of balance. It is time to walk forward in beauty, in balance. And water, you have the ability to do that anyway, because that's pretty natural for water to do. But you also are working with divine feminine and divine masculine. So as you join these two, the union of opposites can create worlds. And that's pretty powerful energy coming in this week. Overall, everyone has got some pretty entertaining, if not really good energy coming in. Not a lot of challenges that I'm seeing so far, but it's general readings here. Fire, earth, air. You have a very interesting dynamic going forward. Air seems to be the ringleader or the one who's puppet mastering everything, and earth and fire are definitely starting something new this week. Water, you're kind of off on your own, but you've also got your own journey ahead of you. There's some energy coming in of shifting and changing, but it's also saying this is a time for creation. This week overall is really about stepping into your creative abilities, stepping into your creative talents, and understanding the balance of the masculine and feminine plays out in every area of your life when you become aware of it. So with that, I will leave you guys and gals to that. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button, drop a like on the video, and comment. Let me know your thoughts, feelings, and impressions, and I will see you in the next video.